Hey, from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, a show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
John Trumbull, happy holidays, good sir.
Happy, yeah, I guess it is the holidays now. We're almost midway through December.
'Tis the season.
It is a season. Yes.
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 It is a season. Yes. Rocking around the Christmas tree, and the I never know what the rest of the song how it goes. It's just
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
Christmas party hop.
I know the tune, but I don't really. Yeah, it's not a song I choose to listen to very much. It's not a very good song.
No, but it's like one of those things you hear it all the time. I've heard it all the time growing up and seen a bunch of 80s like Christmas movies, and you hear it when you go to the mall 100 times. It kind of convinces you that it's a better song than it actually is, because it's like, well, I've heard it everywhere, so it must be good.
But here's the weird thing. All the Christmas songs that have rock in the name, none of them actually rock. Jingle Bell Rock is like the least rocking song ever.
That's very true.
They are like the lamest, whitest, just milquetoast type songs.
It's a step above like bluegrass. It's barely rock.
I mean, they're just so damn Paul Anka, you know?
Yeah. It's rock in the sense that it's played on an electric guitar.
Yeah.
So it must be rock.
It's a slightly faster tempo than like Jingle Bells.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the type of rock your parents would be like, "Oh, this rocks." If your parent says it rocks, then it does not rock.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, well, no, I want to hear something that actually rocks.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Don't promise rocking that you will not be able to provide.
Yeah, I want to hear something like more aggressive, more crazier. Maybe something like Marty McFly at the end of the prom when he's like, shredding on the guitar and kicking over an amp, and he's, him saying, "Guess you guys aren't ready for that, but the kids are gonna love it."
Yeah,
and that's rock.
That is rock and roll.
Yes, exactly. That's Marvin Berry. He knows. It's your cousin Marvin Berry. You know that new sound you were looking for? Well, listen to this. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just waiting for you to get that out of your system.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Sorry. Once I start talking about Back to the Future, it's only a matter of time before the quotes come out. It really is.
Yeah. No, I know how you're wired up at this point.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Hey, SNL.
Hey, a new SNL. They're back with new episodes and like broadcast live, and they're doing the sketches and the make-em-ups and the musical bits.
Yes, they're doing it live and on Saturday nights.
Yes, and it is being broadcast from somewhere in New York, from what I understand. This episode, my notes tell me, is season 47, episode 8, with Billie Eilish as the host and the musical guest.
Ooh, double duty.
Double duty. She's been on the show once before. It's been on an episode that we covered. She was on the Woody Harrelson hosting the season premiere. That was the season 45 premiere.
So. Yeah, and honestly, like when she first was the musical guest on that episode, that was the first time I had ever heard of her. Like I had no idea who she was till then, and now like I'm a little bit more familiar with her musical style. She just sang that song that was on the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die. So she's becoming a little bit more established. So I mean, I guess it was only a matter of time before she did this, where she's the host and the musical guest. I think before this, like people were saying, "Oh yeah, she's." I think I said it on this podcast too, where it's like, "Oh yeah, she's the guest host and the musical guest, and like she's known to be funny online and stuff and in interviews, so maybe she could do it." But then I kind of thought about it a little bit more after I said it, where I was like, "Oh yeah, people say she's funny on TikTok and social media, so of course she can do live sketch comedy."
So you're walking back your previous opinion a bit. It sounds
Yeah,
like.
well, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Okay. Okay.
No, like I mean, overall, I thought she was okay, but there
Uh-huh.
you could definitely you could definitely see. Oh, you remember like oh she's a 19-year-old person who doesn't have too much acting experience, and it
Yeah,
does kind of show.
I don't think I realized until she mentioned it in her monologue. I didn't realize that she was as young as she is. Billie Eilish. She was always she was somebody I was aware of. I knew the name. I probably couldn't have named any of her songs. But I was aware that she was out there. I was like, oh yes, she's that girl with the dark hair with the green patch on top. That was kind of how I knew her. And yeah, like you said, she did the theme for the last James Bond movie. So.
Right, and she had that song "Bad Guy," which was a huge hit. That's the one she did on SNL, and that was
Mhm.
like that kind of catapulted her into the new stratosphere. So now she's like more in the public eye a little bit more. She's like a bigger pop star. It kind of seems like that maybe trying to make her into the next Lady Gaga or something, but it's she's definitely like becoming a bigger name where she's trying to show she can do some acting as well as singing.
Yeah.
Although, like honestly, from this episode, I think her singing is stronger than her acting. But we'll talk about that later.
I mean,
We'll
it
get
seems like this is like one of SNL's go-tos now. It seems like at least once a season they always want to have somebody they've previously had on as a musical guest to come back and host and also be the musical guest. I guess they because Justin Timberlake worked out so well for them.
yeah.
And
I think that they do that. Like Timberlake, it worked out. Halsey, I thought Halsey was amazing as a
Mhm.
singer, as an actress, and so they do try to do that where they try to find, oh, this person can sing. Can they also be in sketches? And when it does work out, it's kind of opens up a new avenue for them to like, oh, she can act. We can put her in these things, and maybe kind of they get to branch out a little bit more and are seen as more than just a singer.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it adds a little variety to the season as well. Another notable thing about this episode, it marks Kate McKinnon's grand return.
Yes, the
She's
queen is back.
she's back from shooting the Tiger King thing for Netflix. I think she's been shooting that for. Is that who's doing it?
Yeah, I believe it's Net. I just assume everything's Netflix.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I
Well, we
think
will assume it is Netflix until we are proven wrong.
yeah.
And then
I think
when we are proven wrong, we will not care.
right.
Um,
We issue no
because really,
apologies.
Because really, what difference does it make? It's not on Netflix. It's on this other streaming service. Well, whatever. It's on other Netflix.
Yeah. It's on pseudo Netflix, the other
It's on
thing.
Disney Netflix, or it's on HBO Max Netflix, or it's on Paramount Plus Netflix, which used to be CBS All Access Netflix or Hulu Netflix. I'm just going to say we have too many streaming services. We need to pare this back down.
Yes. We yeah, it's getting bonkers now.
It's getting bonkers, and like we have to keep up with most of them because we watch like obscure movies starring SNL alums during our off weeks. So
Yeah, it's like, oh, do I have to sign up for Tubi now for this
it
to do this
it's a
episode?
lot. I'm just saying it's a lot.
Yeah, just give me two or three. Like back in the day
Exactly.
when there were like two or three channels.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's
It,
that's how I
it
like it.
was so much easier.
It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time, but hey, it's nice to have Kate back. It's nice to have her back in Studio 8H
Yes, yes,
performing and doing the make 'em ups and doing the ha-has.
yes. Doing the ha-has and chuckle towns.
Yes.
I mean, I just hope that people, because like I have seen like online a few people saying things like, "Oh, thank God Kate's back. She's what's been missing from SNL this past season. Like the show needs her." And I'm like, I don't. I mean, I get what they're saying, but I feel like that's a little bit of a disservice to like the cast members that have been stepping up and have been doing amazing work. When people say
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that,
I
I don't know.
mean, I'm always happy to see her, but I mean, they have such a deep bench of talent now. It's tough to say that I missed her. I mean, I did and I didn't. I mean, I missed her, but it didn't. There wasn't as big of a void in the show as there would be if like she was one of a dozen cast members as opposed to like one of 20 something.
Yeah,
So,
no, I totally agree with that.
yeah. So, should we get into it? Should we do this like sketch by sketch?
Let's do this, Brutus.
Let's do this. Okay, starting out,
Pew!
we got the Fauci holiday message cold open with Kate as one of her go-to characters now, Dr. Anthony Fauci, talking about the news with the Omicron variant of COVID, and
Uh, yeah,
yeah, we got the CDC players acting out various scenarios. This is the thing they did once before. I didn't look up which episode they did this in before. Do you remember?
shoot, I should have looked it up, but I did not.
Okay, we
But
did
yeah,
not. We fell down on our research on this one, people.
sorry
Um,
guys, we
so
oh,
so let
this
us
is
know, and again, we will be like, thank you for letting us know that, and then we will forget it right after.
that's right, in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, yeah. So, but this is kind of what they did before. We had the very CDC members acting out skit scenarios showing how you should act, but they go off the rails very quickly.
Yeah, I mean it's basically pretty much exactly the way it was when they first did it, where they act out scenarios. I think at one point we have Bowen and Ego talking about
Hmm.
like being on an airplane, and then
Yeah,
Bowen, it
the Bowen
it
and
goes
Ego's
into
characters like to hook up a lot in these things.
they do.
Yeah, it was like, hey, I hear that you can't get pregnant in the sky, and she's like, let's find out, King, and she mounts him, and it cuts back to Fauci, and he's like, I don't even think that's how sex works.
Well,
But
hey, maybe you're not doing it right.
yeah, but hey, whatever works for them.
Right.
That's great, and she always calls him King. So
Yas, King, yas.
so
Uh,
yeah, we go ahead.
well, no, I was gonna say like the one difference a little bit is instead of them constantly having scenario after scenario after scenario, they did change it up in this cold open a little bit. Where I think they only had like maybe one or two scenarios. Like they had
Hmm.
Mikey Day and Heidi
Yeah.
doing their like a person who forgot their vaccine card going to a restaurant, and they had Bowen and Ego as two people in an
Hmm.
airplane, and they had I forget who it was, and Kyle as Santa
It was
saying,
Melissa and Kyle. Yeah, she was
right, Melissa,
visiting Santa in the mile, in the
right,
mall.
right, and then like Kyle saying, "Oh, don't sit on my lap, little girl, because due to the vaccine, my testicles have ballooned to the size of grapes."
Yes.
Which I was like, grapes aren't that big, but all right. Um,
No, no,
and but
grapes are larger than testicles.
I, yeah, when he said that, I was like, "Is that is there something wrong with his testicles?" Because I thought grapes were not are
I mean,
smaller
maybe
than.
there's something wrong with your testicles, Darren.
Oh boy,
Did you ever
yeah,
think about that?
I think about it every day.
Okay.
Oh god. And but so they only had like three scenarios. Then they cut to a few impressions. Like we get to see Pete Davidson and Andrew Dismukes as Andrew and Chris Cuomo, which was
Hmm.
a nod to them now being the disgraced Cuomo brothers because they're both
Yes.
both in a bit of hot water, as they
They
say.
both lost their jobs because of COVID, as they said, which, not true, but I thought that was a neat way to tie it in. We had Chloe as Lauren Boebert and Cecily as Marjorie Taylor Greene, who both, because they are psychopaths, um, sent out Christmas cards of their entire family just toting guns, which is
Jesus Christ.
insane.
It's my God, it's like beyond parody at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
I did think this was the funniest part of the cold open, though. I will say that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like when
And
I think like when Cecily says no, I think it was when Lorne Bobert's introducing
mhm.
their names, like hello, I'm Lorne Borbert, and this is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and of course she says it's pronounced gun.
Yes, yes. And we also had 80 Bryant returning as Ted Cruz, the weirdo with the beardo. Um, I like this overall. I thought it stayed more or less focused on the COVID stuff. I mean, they brought some other things in, but they were able to relate it more to the main topic, so it didn't seem like as much of a reach as usual. And I thought
Right.
it zipped along pretty well, so I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I mean, it kind of hit on a lot of the same beats that they usually do in the cold open, where they just try to fit in as much info about what happened in the past week, as they
Mhm.
can. Yeah, I thought it was okay for the most part. It
Yeah,
didn't.
I mean, I just thought it seemed more organic than I never thought like, well, why the hell are they talking about that? I mean, I thought they related it back to the COVID stuff pretty well. So,
Right. Oh, okay. So yeah, this type of cold open they did with Fauci introducing the players. This was in the cold open of the Keegan Michael Key episode back in May.
oh, okay, all right, that's good to know. One thing I noticed at the end when I was rewatching the sketch this morning was when everybody gathers together for the live from New York's. Pete has painted fingernails. Did you notice that?
Oh no, they
Yeah,
didn't.
Pete has like bright red nail polish, so therefore Andrew Cuomo had bright red nail polish. I just thought that was kind of funny. Just
It's
the thought of
it's canon.
yeah, it was just oh okay. Andrew Cuomo paints his fingernails. That's interesting.
Wait, I'm surprised no one caught that. So was that like for another sketch he was about to be in, or is that just like Pete just?
I feel like that's just Pete living his life, and
All right.
and he was probably just like, no one will notice this, but he puts his arms around one of the other cast members, and it just caught my eye when I was rewatching it on YouTube this morning. I was like, oh, holy crap! Andrew Cuomo has bright red nail polish on. That's
All right.
funny,
All right. So look for it, guys. It's canon. Andrew Cuomo has nipple rings and bright red nail polish,
and lots of tattoos.
and lots. Hey, oh, he's a freak.
Hey, also, no cold open kid.
Yeah. No, James. Actually, he wasn't in this episode that much at all.
He
Actually,
wasn't. It was a light episode for him, man.
he was in one sketch briefly, but yeah, not too
Yeah,
much. J. Oh.
yeah, yeah. Not even in the cut for time sketches. It just surprised me.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, I thought it was getting the show off to a decent start. Next, we had the Billie Eilish monologue. She came out, looked very Muppety to my eye. She's in this big, uh, sort of big sundress and these. They looked like moon boots. I know they weren't moon boots, but they had the kind of the shape of moon boots. You know
Yeah.
that sort of puffy thing.
Yeah. It was like very poofy. It was like
Hmm.
maybe Rainbow Bright meets Little Bo Peep
Hmm.
type of thing. It looks like very poodly type of
Yeah, and
dress.
yeah. She had a couple lines about it in her monologue that I didn't write down, so I'm not going to try to repeat them. But apparently, like I did a little research on Billie Eilish this morning. Apparently, that's a thing she does. That's one of her trademarks is she wears like big baggy clothes because apparently she doesn't want to be judged for her body. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um,
I remember. I kind of knew. I mean, I didn't know that, but I was kind of aware of that. Like when she was first coming up, yeah, she kind of dresses like it's clothes like that are like two sizes too big for her, and
mhm.
then I heard that was like a thing. Was like, oh yeah, she didn't want to be known for her body, or be known as some sex pot, some teenage sex pot type of thing. But then
Yeah.
I think that's why it was like a big deal when she posed for I think like Vogue UK or something like that, and she was dressed in like a corset, and like it was a little bit more form fitting outfits. And
Oh, I wasn't aware of that at all.
yeah, a lot of people were like up in arms about it. It's like, what is this? She's not doing the thing she said she was doing. She's a phony, big fat phony.
Hmm.
It was a bit of a to do.
Like, okay, I haven't seen the photos at all, but yeah, cool your jets on the outrage, people.
Yeah, I
She's
mean,
she's 19. She's allowed to like do different things and change her mind and wear whatever the hell she feels like wearing at that moment.
yeah, you're being upset at a teenager. Is this really how you want to
Yeah,
live your life?
exactly. I mean, other things in the world you could possibly be outraged. Off the top of my head, pandemic. and
What? When did that?
attempted coup.
What? When did that happen?
Maybe one of those.
Yeah, if you're more upset over how a teenager dresses than the fact that people try to overthrow the government, I
Yes.
you might want to look at your priorities, my friend.
Yes, exactly. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, the monologue. Yeah, she talked about how she was a musical guest a couple years ago. She says like her mom, dad, and brother are all actors, but she had her dream of being an actor crushed when she was 9, when her mom made a film, an autobiographical film, and her brother played himself, and her mother was a only had one child in the film.
Oof,
Wow.
it's a tough business.
Tough business. Tough business. Can't catch a break even from your own mom.
Hey, man.
Uh, but that was funny, and that's a nice endearing story that gets the audience on your side. And she has her real mom come out, and she's wearing a T-shirt that says like Phineas's mom, which Phineas is her brother, who apparently collaborates with her a lot on her music. He writes and produces a lot of her music.
Yeah, the two of them work very closely together. Like he performed on stage with her quite a bit playing guitar. He was actually in this episode in a few
Hmm.
sketches. Yeah, the two of
Yeah.
them are like Elton John, and Bertie Taupin, close.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, because like his face didn't really fix in my head from the mom's sweatshirt. And so, like, when he popped up a few times in the episode, I was like, who is this bearded guy who keeps popping up? And then after I rewatched the model, like, I put it together. I was like, oh, okay, that's Phineas, and that's her brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and here's a little fun fact. So I saw this. Our good friends at Entertainment Weekly posted this up on their recap of
Mm-hmm.
the episode. Them saying, while at the Groundlings, Eilish's mother actually taught and performed with the likes of Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, and Melissa McCarthy, becoming McCarthy's first improv teacher.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. I did
I,
not know that. That's
I
a
was
neat bit of trivia.
yes, and now you know the rest of the story.
Yes. So, and then towards the end of the monologue, we have dragging on Colin Jost for no real reason. It just totally out of nowhere. They just put up a picture of 16-year-old Colin Jost looking uh, kind of
Mm.
geeky, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, bit of an incel. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Buzz cut, wireframe glasses. He looks. Hmm. It's a
Yeah.
look.
Well, it's a look. I mean, he's 16. Most everybody looks at least a little awkward at 16.
Yeah, I take that back. Like if you pull up my 16-year-old picture, it would be like, oh, this, this
Oh,
is
my high school yearbook pictures. I mean, first of all, airbrushed within an inch of their life because my complexion not in good shape at 16.
no, really.
Puberty hit me hard, you guys.
Oh dear.
I mean, I look at my graduation photo and I'm just like, my skin was not that smooth once in high school.
Smooth as eggs.
It is just, oh, it's got that overly airbrush look to it, and it's just like, no.
Oh
So,
boy.
but hey, kudos to Colin Jost for always being willing to have himself mocked on national television.
Yeah, he seems like a good. The fact that people keep mocking him, or it seems to be like kind of a go-to for a lot of hosts and
Yeah,
cast members just to like rag on Colin Jost. Now it kind of endeared me to him. I think like earlier on in this podcast, we're all like, Colin Jost, whatever. He's
yeah.
whatever. But now like everybody rags on him. Now I'm like, well, hey, come on, man. He's all right.
Well, and honestly, like when you're married to Scarlett Johansson and you've had a kid with Scarlett Johansson, and you're like a co-head writer at SNL, you've won at life. I mean,
Yeah.
what is going to hurt you at this point? You can
Exactly.
take a few shots.
I win.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, I did think that it was kind of out of nowhere from the monologue. So it made the monologue a bit long. I honestly feel like we could have axed the Colin Joe stuff or put it somewhere else in the show, uh, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, fair enough. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I thought the monologue was okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of endured her to the audience and whatnot, but it was what
Endeared, not endured.
endeared. What I say?
You said endured.
Oh, Jesus, that's a whole nother
That's a
word.
very different thing, my friend.
It's a very different thing. All right, endeared
Hmm.
um, her to the audience. So yeah, I thought it was all right. Nothing,
Yeah, yeah.
nothing too
I mean,
crazy.
yeah, I feel like the monologues have been really good this season, and they are doing a nice job of getting the audience on the host side and giving you an idea of what the host is about. So I feel like the monologues might be the most improved aspect of the show this season so far.
I'd agree.
Hmm. All right, next we got our first sketch, Christmas cards. This was written by Mikey Day, Tesha Condrat, and
Kesha.
Sager Seidel.
Okay, the singer.
Tesha,
Okay,
Tesha with a
I
T,
know.
not
I
Kesha.
know.
Tesha.
Tesha. I know. I'm sure she gets that all the time.
Yeah. So this had Melissa and Mikey as a couple, and they're looking at the Christmas cards on their fridge, and the various cast members are the photos coming to life, and just talking about the various types of people they are, like the super white Christian neighbors, and Heidi as the cousin who's made pregnancy her entire identity.
Yeah.
And we had Bowen and Keenan as Pierce and Leonard, the well-off middle-aged couple with a gross old little dog you can't believe is still alive. And by the way, amazing rat dog prop in this sketch. I mean, whoever put that together did an amazing job.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That was something.
Um,
I mean, it was not a real dog. It was some sort of prop dog. But wow, I was impressed with that.
yeah. No, it was really good. Yeah. I don't know. Overall, I thought the sketch was all right. It seemed to
Hmm.
be. I guess I'm trying to figure out why it didn't hit hard with me. Like I don't know. I
See, I
thought
liked it. I thought it was really cute.
okay.
Again, I thought it moved along well. I thought they got really specific with all the character types, and it was well observed. We had a very random Miley Cyrus cameo with because she was Miley was apparently a celebrity encounter that Punky Johnson's character had this year.
Yeah, that all right. That I thought was funny. Where it was Punky, a picture of Punky Johnson with Miley Cyrus, and then Miley Cyrus
Mhm.
is like, "Oh yeah," she walked up to me saying, "Hey, you're Hannah Montana," and told me she
Right.
didn't like my music.
Yes. And then implied that if I didn't take a picture with her, I was racist. So,
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I thought it was okay, but yeah, for the most part, I think for me, like a lot of I don't know, maybe the jokes were kind of light. It just seemed like they were more
mhm.
explaining what the situation they were in rather than like kind of making it super funny. If that's anything, if that,
Yeah, okay. It was a lot of the people coming up and being like, "Hey, this is who I am and this is what I'm about." I feel like the structure of the sketch made that kind of unavoidable though. And like I said, I thought it was well observed. I liked Kate McKinnon as like her mom's older single friend, and she has no idea if she's a lesbian or a wealthy widow, but she doesn't really feel right about asking.
right? And
And
Mikey Day was the father of like a oh, this is me and my super white Christian family, and me and my army of white blonde children, and my wife's pregnant again. She's
mhm,
always pregnant. It was
yeah,
like kind of
yeah.
them like explaining kind of what their situation is, but I don't know, not too many jokes in there. I guess a good the
Well, and
explanation is a
well, we
joke.
had we had Billie Eilish as Melissa's old high school rival with her husband, and she's like sending out the Christmas cards to just kind of rub it in about how great her life is, but she. I like the line about like her son growing into a fine young incel.
All right, yeah, that was funny. That was good.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was
Um,
cute. Sounds like I liked it a lot more than you did.
yeah, I thought this was all right, but it didn't really. I don't know. I think it maybe more leaned on the fact that people could relate to this, like
Hmm.
kind of leaning more on the familiarity aspect to it of it, rather than kind of putting in any funnier jokes in there. If that
A big thing that this sketch made me think was like, hey, I should get more refrigerator magnets because putting up the Christmas cards on the refrigerator. That's a really good idea. I don't have a mantelpiece, so I've never
Hmm.
had a good place to display the Christmas cards that I get of everybody's happy families and stuff. Um, so I should do that this year. I should invest in some refrigerator magnets.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
The refrigerator magnets. They're like the photo album that keeps your food cold.
yeah, exactly, exactly. The
Absolutely.
thing that always mystifies me though is like when is the appropriate time to throw out the Christmas cards?
Ooh, that
Like like
is.
like how soon do you do it that makes you a bad person?
I don't know.
Should you
I mean, usually, like, the wife and I would just kind of put them in one of those keepsake boxes. Usually, like around January, February, or so.
Oh, so you keep them beyond that. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we put in like a little, like a memory box or like a shoe box or something like that. So it'll be like a little keepsake forever and ever type of thing.
So I should not be throwing them out at all.
I mean, you can you do what you want, King. It's your life. but,
Okay. All right. Well,
but
folks, call in. Let us know. When do you throw out your Christmas cards? Do you throw out your Christmas cards?
do you
And
throw
what should
out
I be
birthday
doing?
cards? Yeah, do you throw out your birthday cards? Do you throw out wedding invites or pregnancy announcements? Like, when
I
do you
feel
keep
like
them?
you have to at some point because otherwise you get overwhelmed by this stuff. But and I don't feel like I have a good place to put this stuff. But
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. Or maybe you just get like a
This
little scrapbook, like a little scrapbook there.
well, see now that just gives me a whole task. That's just giving me a project.
Your mission, should you accept it?
No, I do not accept any scrapbooking
Okay.
missions.
All
I
right.
do not want to do scrapbooking. If I was ever going to do scrapbooking, I would have done scrapbooking by now. We're 2 years into quarantine. I have not taken up scrapbooking once.
Well, all right. You don't know what you're missing.
I think it's safe to say I'm never going to do scrapbooking.
All right. Fine. Somebody's too good for scrapbooking. La di da.
Look, we have digital photos for a reason, people.
Oh boy. Oh
I can
boy.
I can create a folder and I can dump them in there.
All right. All right, Mr.
All right.
Technology. Fine.
Okay. And speaking of technology, our next
Hey.
sketch was a pre-tape TikTok. Don't have writer credits for this one.
Um.
This was kind of a rapid fire thing. It was like a kid scrolling through TikTok, and at the same time, his father is nagging him to take out the trash, and it's just like a lot of quick bits of various TikTok things.
Yeah, this was a really interesting one. Like the format of it, I thought was really interesting. It kind of reminded me of like maybe one of those sketches that would have come out at the SNL at homes, like during the
Hmm.
lockdown. Yeah. So basically, we're seeing like a phone screen, and we're seeing it. It's basically through the eyes of a kid who's just scrolling through his phone. His father is constantly texting him to take out the trash, and he texts back, "I'm on it, I'm doing it." But of course, instead of doing it, he just goes on to TikTok and looks at videos, and then we see,
Yeah.
basically him scrolling through videos. We see Andrew Dismukes doing an acoustic version of a Flo Rida song, which happened on TikTok. And we see Chloe Fineman playing this person who's obsessed with Blake Lively's red carpet dress, and then
Billie Eilish was like a nurse doing like a TikTok dance, and I think Sarah was behind her.
yes, she
If
was.
I Yeah, it's tough to see because like they're doing like a phone screen inside your television screen, so it's a very narrow picture
Right.
window.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah,
and
then we see like Kyle Mooney playing somebody who's like, "Oh, the new Spider-Man trailer just dropped out and it's amazing." And like
Yeah, I
basically
like that they came back to him later, and then he's freaking out over the Spencer trailer.
exactly.
That was funny, and I don't know uh, this didn't really work for me. It didn't really do anything for me, just because I'm not on TikTok. I don't follow TikTok, and I mean, I'm on other social media and I can scroll through like YouTube like nobody's business and waste a couple hours doing that. But I don't find it interesting to just like watch somebody else scrolling. I just
Yeah.
thought this really dragged. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think to your point, like have like somebody else scrolling that's supposed to sort of it's because like the whole sketch is seen through the teenager's eyes, so it's supposed to be feel like
Yeah,
you scrolling through the phone. So I think that's the hook on it.
yeah.
But yeah, like I'm like you, I'm not on TikTok either. It seems like if you're it seems like how when you're with somebody and you're both watching TV and the person just keeps changing channels.
Oh
They'll leave it
yeah,
they'll leave it on the channel for like a second and then be like, nah, and then change. It just seems
right.
like somebody took that and made it into an app.
Yes, yes, and yeah, and it's kind of infuriating with you when you're with somebody else and they're flipping channels, and you're just like, wait, go back to that thing. What was that? Like, I didn't even get to see what that was. It's yeah, but from what I was seeing on some of the YouTube and Twitter comments, I think some people really like this sketch. I think if you're on TikTok, it really spoke to you.
Yeah, like from what I understand about TikTok and this sketch is exactly what TikTok is. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I got it because I'm a comedian. I got a kick out of the scene where Aristotle was a comic on stage, and the
Hmm.
title was "Comedian Destroys Heckler."
No,
And
no, it was the other way around. It was heckler destroys comedian.
oh,
Because like
okay.
the heckler said something to Aristotle, and then you just see him looking crushed.
Oh yeah, and then the heckler's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, man," and then it
Yeah,
goes to
yeah,
something. Yeah, there was like a lot of like you said, like rapid fire sketches and but I also did like the through line they had about how even as teenagers looking through all these videos, the father is still trying to get in touch with him to take out the trash to the point
yeah,
where he has to make a TikTok video about, that feeling when your son won't take out the trash.
yeah,
And then the son is like, Dad, delete this, take this down now, TikTok. And like I thought that was a nice little cool little thread throughout the sketch.
yeah. Uh, like I said, this one did next to nothing for me. But
I hear you. Like, I think if you're
yeah,
somebody who's on TikTok all the time, one of
yeah,
these young people, and SNL is always trying to appeal to the young people. This will hit hard with you. This because I like I think the format of it is interesting because it's not like a regular standard sketch. Like the way it's kind of set up, just like TikTok, and the humor of it is sort of more in tune to what young folks humor is now, which is just like looking through videos and memes and that feeling when
yeah,
blah 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 blah, that type of thing. I think this will hit harder with the young people, the young folks, you young whippersnappers out there, than it will for us old fossils. But I thought this
yeah,
was interesting though. I thought the format was interesting, and I was like, this is just because I'm not used to seeing it. I thought it was like really interesting in that
yeah. I mean,
regard.
they were trying something different. I'll give them that. I just didn't think this was a successful experiment, and I would not want to see them do it again. I'm afraid that they will, though. But
Yeah.
all
Um,
right, next we have Hip Hop Nativity. Um, this was a nativity pageant rehearsal with Heidi and Billie Eilish as the directors, and they say that they've learned all of hip hop, and they're just going to train all the performers to do hip hop moves.
hmm.
We got a pimp walk for Joseph. The donkeys were had to shake their asses more, and Andrew Dismukes was playing Baby Jesus. They wanted to make a butt for him so that he could twerk. They tried to get Chloe as Mary to do pole dancing, and then Chloe isn't comfortable doing that, so Heidi ends up doing some pole dancing herself on a candy cane stripper pole. Uh, I thought this was pretty dire. This is like one of the sketches I did not rewatch. I was just like,
Yeah, this
I can't go to this again.
yeah,
Why?
this was a big old bag of doo doo. I mean, just
Yeah,
like, oh hey, it's out of touch Midwest white people doing hip hop. That's always funny. That's not tired or cliched at all. Because
and
they're old and late. They're white people, and they're doing the hip hops, and they're
yeah,
doing get it. They're doing the pimp walk. Because white people doing hip hop, that's ridiculous. And like, uh, There wasn't
Yeah,
anything to the sketch. It was literally them just doing twerking and uh, there wasn't.
yeah, and it
Yeah,
was just very repetitive too. It
yeah.
just
I kept waiting for like the twist to come or some to for it to like
yeah,
change in some direction, and it didn't at all. It was just yeah. This was Lamesville.
yeah, and I did not understand why it was relatively early in the show. I mean, I think that we're still in the first half hour here,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
40 minutes into the show. I was just like, why? It just
This was like the third sketch of the night, and you're doing
yeah,
like twerking jokes still in
yeah,
2021. We still think twerking's hilarious. Uh,
yeah. It was pretty dire.
yeah, this
Not
is
good, not good.
yes.
But
At
next
this,
we had another pre-tape, which I really liked. This was a Lonely Christmas ad. This was written by Mikey Day, Allison Gates, Kate McKinnon, and Streeter Seidel. This was Billie Eilish. She's a young woman in the city. She's looking out her window, getting ready for her Christmas dinner. She sees this lonely old woman across the street, played by Kate McKinnon, who seems to be mourning her deceased husband. And she writes a note and holds it up to the window, and she's like, hey, would you like to come over for Christmas dinner? And I'm seeing this and I'm like, oh, this is like SNL doing something sentimental and touching and stuff. And then but it took a turn, and it took a turn that I loved. And
it got dark.
it got dark, and like they're communicating back and forth. It's like that Taylor Swift video. I think it was from her song "You Belong to Me," where
Oh,
she's doing that with like cute neighbor kid.
oh, isn't that a Carly Simon song? You belong to me.
No,
Oh, okay.
I mean it's the same title, but it's a different song.
Uh, I
But
only I only recognize a Carly Simon version.
oh, okay, okay. Well, I think I saw this video. It must have been on like pop up video or something like that, or anyway. It made me wonder if like they might have written this for Taylor Swift a few weeks ago,
Hmm.
and they did do it for whatever reason. But um, yeah, she invites the old lady to Christmas dinner, and then the old lady's like, "Are there any black people there?" and, and Billie
Yes.
Eilish was like, "What? No, I don't think so." And then Kate McKinnon's character writes again, "Jews."
Yeah, and then she's like, "No, it's just me and my family." Oh no, she said, "No, I don't think so." And then she
Yeah,
says,
yeah,
"Can you check?"
yeah, yeah. And and I think at one point, like she says, "Oh, do you like dogs? There'll be dogs here." And Kate McKinnon's like, "Yeah, fine, I'll eat anything."
Yeah, and yeah, at some I think at one point Billie Eilish writes, "No, it's just me and my family." And she says, "Oh well," and then Kate McKinnon, the old lady, said, "Right, cherish them. All my family are dead. At least they
Mhm.
are to me anyway. They voted for a woman president. Disgraceful."
Yes, yeah. And then a little while later, we meet Mikey as Rutger, who's this sickly dude and he holds up a few notes of his own, and he's like, "She's keeping me sick," and we see her inject him with something. She claims it's giving him medicine. I really like this because it took a lot of turns. It built beautifully. I like the little thing it said at the end. It said like, "Know thy neighbor before you love thy neighbor." This was sketch of the night for me.
Yeah, it's weird how like before this was probably the worst sketch of the night, and then
Hmm.
now this, which is the best sketch of the night. I'll agree with you. I thought this was sketch of the night. Like I liked how um you at first think it's going to be a very sentimental holiday sketch. You
Yeah.
hear an acoustic version of a Smith song playing in the background throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
I believe it's Billie Eilish's version of it. And
According to our friends at Decomposition Podcast, yes, it was Billie Eilish singing the Smith song.
yeah, and so then it starts off thinking, oh, there's going to be SNL's like kind of sweet little holiday pre-tape. They kind of do this, they do this every so often, but then it just it took a darker turn at every beat
Yeah.
where you realize the old woman doesn't want to be around black people or Jews, and then she's
Hmm.
keeping who I guess is her son Rutger sick, and then the sketch ends with her. writing to Miley Cyrus to Billie Eilish's character. Thank you so much for inviting me. You've made a an old woman very happy this holiday season. I didn't
Hmm.
kill my husband.
Yes.
And Billy's like, okay. And then of course said, no, Margaret killed her. And then as she leaves, you see Rutger holding up a sign saying, "She is Margaret."
Yeah. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I liked it, and I think it hit harder for me because I thought, oh yeah, they're gonna do the touching sentimental thing, and I was just like, and I'm not in that place
no,
yet for the holiday season,
no,
so
no. We live in the darkness.
yeah, yeah. So I liked it that it took a cool dark turn. I mean, it hit harder for me because of that. So yeah, definitely sketch of the night.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it also ended. It also ended up being ad for Next Door, which
Hmm.
I didn't even know what that was, but then I looked it up. It seems like it's like an app and a website that tells you about what's going on in your neighborhood, about local businesses and people in your neighborhood selling stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Is it okay? So it's more of like a community knowledge thing. It's not like, oh, your neighbor two doors down is a sex offender.
No, no, it's just not. It's not that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think they'd put ads up for that. But yeah, it's more of
Well,
a
not ads, but like alerts, because I know they have things like that too, where you can like log on and see all the sex offenders in your area, and then be just terrified of the world.
yeah, of course, as you should be. But I mean, I don't think they'd
Mhm.
put.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd put commercials for stuff like that, would they? Have they?
I don't know.
Like Find a Pedo or something like that, or whatever it's called.
Uh, I don't know, but I'm going to register that URL right now. Find a pedo.
All I ask is that the portion of the profits go to me.
Okay, deal.
Thanks. You heard it here. You heard it here, listeners. This is legally binding.
Okay. All right. So next, we had our host performing her musical guest duties. We had Billie Eilish um, doing her two numbers, and I did not write down the names of her numbers. Where do I have those?
Uh,
She did "Happier Than Ever" and "Male Fantasy."
ooh, hey now.
So
Um,
um,
yeah,
she was introduced by her parents in the first number, which I thought that was really nice.
that was very sweet. In the second number, she was introduced by Kate, and I
Hmm.
think this is where, like, this is where I come in and I say, like, yeah, her musical performances I think were stronger than her performances in sketches because, like, this is you could tell this is where she really like shines. And
Uh huh.
I also like the I guess the stage direction that happened in her first performance because as you see like it looks like she's in a room by herself with
Yeah.
like this sort of I guess khaki wall like in the background, and then like the camera does this thing, or like where like the walls separate actually,
Hmm.
and then as the walls separate, you see the audience. So that's when you realize, oh, all right, so the camera was looking from like where the band is, and the wall was in between her and the audience, and then that separates. You see the walls come out, you see the audience, and then the camera kind of turns and moves like sort of behind the audience and towards the stage. I thought that was like a nice little cool
Hmm.
production thing they did. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's always like kind of doing like little, performance things like that to sort of enhance the enjoyment in the performance. Like when she was on the first time and she was performing inside like a cube or something that was rotating.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I thought that was like a nice little thing she did, and I did enjoy her performance. She's a very strong singer. You can tell she really gets into it, really passionate about it, and
Hmm.
I don't know. I think her both her songs were like, pretty fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And her brother was there as well.
Yes,
Phineas.
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 You don't hear too many
Phineas.
Phineases around anymore.
It's not a name you hear a lot anymore. It's I don't want to go so far as to say it's like an obsolete or outdated name, but no, you don't run into many Phineases or Phineai. I don't know how you
Ooh,
pluralize Phineas.
a pack of Phineases.
A pack of Phineases. Is that the technical term?
Yes, I'm going to say
Okay.
a flock of Phineas.
A flock of Phineas. I loved that band back in high school.
Space Age Love Song was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. When they did Iran so far away, I mean,
Uh,
that's great stuff. Flock of Phineas's.
Flock of Phineas. But yeah, I like these performances. I thought this was, they were pretty strong performances, and like I can see why she is like very poised at this point to be like the next big thing. Like I said, I
Hmm.
think I said earlier, like it looks like they're trying to make her like the next Lady Gaga or something. And like I'm like, yeah, I could see that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
All right. So next we have Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael
Like a
Shea.
hey, hey,
Um, so let's see.
we got some Jesse Smollett jokes. We got some Andrew
Hmm.
Cuomo jokes. We got jokes
Hmm.
all over here.
Yeah, I liked Joe's line. Jesse Smollett is really bad at acting, like officially bad at acting.
Yeah,
Because yeah, he was he staged that attack on. That's such a weird story, and like when the judgment came through this week, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that happening. Okay, yeah.
yeah. It's just basically a recap of what happened the week. Yeah, yeah. The Jesse Smollett thing is just bizarre. It's like, what? What is this even real? What is going on here?
That's that's just insanity. It's just like, how did you think that was going to work? How did you think you were going to get away with that? How did you think that wouldn't be discovered? And that would like boost your profile or what? I don't even know what the guy's motivations were.
I don't know. It might be one of those things where maybe they saw how divided the country was, and them thinking maybe if I stage this thing, I'll be like more of a high profile star in the eyes of the left, or I
And
don't.
okay, so Jesse Smollett is being attacked. Is that's what's going to unify us? That's what's going to pull us together as a country?
I don't know, man. I'm just thinking off the. I'm just
I don't,
spitballing here. I don't know.
that's that just seems weird. That
Yes,
just seems weird.
just seems weird enough to
Um,
work.
yeah, I guess. I guess. I liked Jay's line. He was talking about the Fox News Christmas tree, and Fox News is Ainsley Earhart said this Scrooge is not going to get away with it, and he says nothing explains Fox News better than a rich white lady calling a homeless man Scrooge, which is a great observation.
Bravo, bravo. I also liked Che's other joke about the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, where
Hmm.
a woman where a woman says that Ghislaine told her that Epstein needed to have sex at least 3 times a day, and if not, he'd kill himself.
Hmm.
Sudden silence from the audience. Michael Che bursts
Dead
out.
silence.
Michael Che bursts out laughing,
Yes, yes, um,
and then Jost looks at him and is like, "That was good. Come on." But did you
yeah,
get it though? Did you get it?
yeah, yeah. Um, if I can backtrack to the Fox News Christmas tree being on fire,
Oh, please do.
that was insane because like I saw like a Fox thing where they're getting outraged about it because they love nothing more than to get outraged about stuff.
Right.
They- but one of the Fox and Friends hosts was like, "This tree represents Christmas. This tree represents Hanukkah." They were trying to present it like it's a Christmas tree for everybody, and I'm like, "No, I'm pretty certain that Christmas trees do not represent Hanukkah."
Yeah,
Fox News person.
yeah. I mean, I'm just a silly Gentile, but I'm pretty sure Christmas trees are just for the people that celebrate Christmas. I don't know.
They are pretty much the opposite of representing Hanukkah. And, they have things to represent Hanukkah, like menorahs.
Yeah, dreidels. They made them out of clay.
I just I just thought that was hilarious. Where they're like, oh yeah, no, we're all about unity and diversity, and our Christmas tree represents the Jews.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. And I also liked how people were online saying, "Hey, they seem more upset about this than that little thing that happened on January 6th." They seem,
Well, yeah.
yeah, that was just a bunch of people getting together having a good time.
Yeah,
But
no,
the
they
tree,
love
that's a
the faux outrage.
uh faux outrage.
I liked they had a line about how kids over 5 in New York City now must show proof of vaccination because if there's one thing a 5-year-old can do, it's keep track of a small piece of paper. That made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm in my mid 40s. I can barely keep track of a small piece of paper.
I just keep it in my jacket pocket, and that's and then I always know where it is. So
Oh, looking smart.
yeah, well, that's all I can
Good.
do because I know otherwise I would lose it like a Christmas card from friends and acquaintances.
Yes, you have to tie it to my sleeve like a child does a child glove,
Exactly, exactly.
a mitten.
So we had a couple death segments. We had Punky Johnson on her family's holiday rules. This basically just felt like something drawn out of Punky Johnson's stand up
Yeah,
to
very
me.
much so. This seems like very much like straight from her act. But I like it though.
Hmm.
I thought this was great. Like she had some jokes about family coming over, and who gets to make the potato salad. It's usually the person who's gone through the most adversity, because as we
Hmm.
all know, the person who's seen the most pain in their life, they make the best food. They make, that's the secret
The
ingredient.
secret ingredient of potato salad is pain.
That's right.
I liked that. I like that. I was just like, I want to have some potato salad made by Punky Johnson's family. I bet
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Yeah, even Che jumped in. It's like, oh yeah, my uncle, he makes the potato salad. He doesn't have a foot, and Bucky's like,
Yeah,
damn, his potato salad must be amazing.
yeah, yeah. And she also talked about how she wants kids, but she doesn't want a daughter because she's afraid she might be straight. And she's like, I don't want my baby girl to get boned.
I mean, no one does.
And then she just talks about how she's basically just going to train her child to be gay.
All the conservatives are like, see, you can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I like this. It kind of reminded me of me because like I know people have been sort of concerned about Punky's stay on the show because she hasn't been in too many episodes at all this
Yeah.
season. She's like, if you think about like the past few episodes, she's been in it very minimally. So people are wondering, oh, is she on her way out? What's happening with Punky?
Yeah.
Um, so to see her do this segment, I gave a lot of people a sigh of relief. It was like, oh, thank God Punky's here, and I really dig it. It seems like she's might be going like the Pete Davidson route, where her best stuff is when it's just them talking on Weekend Update, being themselves, and
Hmm.
like that'll endure her to the audience, and that's how they get to know her best.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was great. I didn't it didn't feel like a home run breakout the way like say Andrew Dismuke's his piece on Update felt last year when
Hmm.
he did that thing towards the end of the season. I feel like she needs a couple more of these to really be on solid footing on the show.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it seemed like she had a great time. She was like laughing throughout the whole thing, and her and Che were
Yeah,
having a good time. But yeah, like I think she like if she does more of these, I think she'll be on her way to like sort of cementing herself in the SNL cast and people getting to know her and like her and wanting to see more of her.
yeah. I mean, it's just she's well into her second year on the show, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she needs something soon. It feels like.
Yeah, that's very true. And I mean, the fact that people kind of know James Austin Johnson and a lot of other people who've been there now.
And those other people you can't name right
Yeah,
now.
no, I was gonna say Aristotle or Sarah, but I mean Sarah kind of.
You were going to, but you didn't.
I was no, because I was all right. All right, here's my thinking. I was gonna say James Austin Johnson because he's gotten a ton of screen time.
Right.
Aristotle, he's gotten a few bits here and there, and of course he has Angelo. But like, I guess you might be on the same footing as Punky, where he hasn't been on a ton of stuff to be like, he hasn't had too many big breakout moments. And
Hmm.
Sarah had a few, but maybe not enough to really stick. I mean, she had
Yeah.
the stool testing and her weekend update death segment. So
Yeah. And that's about it
yeah,
so far.
so that's why I say it seems like Punky is like on the same level as cast members who have been there less than her, or for
Yeah.
like a shorter amount of time, and that's
Yeah.
a bit of an issue.
Right.
Right. But I like this. I like this segment though.
All right. Well, speaking of newish people, we also had Andrew Dismukes' Amazing Animals because
The
he
mukes.
loves animals,
Yeah.
and he had Bongo the Octopus there to predict Sunday's game, and it takes a turn when Bongo instead predicts you will die in 7 days.
Yeah. I did not. A lot of dark stuff got on this episode. I'm noticing.
Hmm.
But yeah, so it's basically like you said, Andrew Mukes, wearing the khaki vest, like he's like like the Jack Hanna of the old Johnny Carson days with his animal axe. And I knew something was gonna happen when he brought out the tank of the octopus, and then the camera kind of cut to close-ups of him, his face, and then a close-up of Colin Joe's face, and then
Hmm.
they do the wide camera back out, and you see that the octopus wrote "You will die in 7 days" instead of
Yeah.
picking who was going to win the football game. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so then it's just this Moose kind of taking in this news, like, wow, I'm gonna die in 7 days, and then the octopus writes,
I I liked how he was immediately accepting of it. He was immediately accepting of his fate, and it was just like, "I'm sorry, my friend. I see what I see. Farewell, sweet prince."
yeah, and also while all this is happening, Andrew has his face painted like a tiger,
Yes,
so he's yeah, so he has like a
like a kid who just went to the carnival.
exactly, so he has his face painted like a tiger, while an octopus tells him he's gonna die in a week.
Hmm. Yep,
I mean, hilarious.
that was fun. And then next, he brings out Taco the talking dog. Love the names on these animals, by the way. Um,
Great names.
and he has, I mean, we've got like a real dog behind it, and then we've got somebody under the update desk with the fake dog paws pushing buttons that are supposedly answering Andrew's questions, but the answers to the questions are all just like, are you gonna die? Like the dog is very concerned.
Yeah, and we should also note like the dog not quite cooperating with the sketch. The dog's kind of looking off to the side, to the distance. I guess there's
Hmm.
food underneath him that he's eating. So while
The dog is looking off to the side because he's like, where's Cicely Strong? I thought I was supposed to be performing a Cicely Strong. Who is this other person?
I had it in
um,
my, I was told I would be
mhm.
performing with Cecily Strong. It's in my contract. Who is this
I
man?
mean, because you have a dog in Studio 8H, the dog is just automatically going to be weirded out that they are not playing opposite Cecily Strong. It's just against the natural order of things.
And you know what? Fair enough. I get it.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
understand what you're saying, dog. If I wasn't,
So
if I saw no
yeah,
Cecily, I'd be upset myself.
exactly, exactly. I mean, that's just default state. I mean, so for half this thing, the dog is like facing away from the camera, either like looking to the side off the stage off stage or like back towards the backdrop. So it's even the lame illusion is not really coming off.
Right.
But this was fun. I liked it. It was weird. It was dark. It was really cool.
Yeah, this was a home run for me. I thought it was
Yeah.
funny. I always like it when like weekend updates segments like this kind of go off onto their own side story, and
Yeah.
like about like what the person's going through. So now Andrew just Mukes is learning he's gonna die in a week, and
Yeah.
all the animals are concerned for him and saying, I'm sorry you're going through this. I love you."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like while he's trying to put on a brave face, while his face is painted like a tiger. It's
Yeah. This was a lot of fun. This was a lot. I don't think they ever commented on his face paint either, which was a nice touch.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a hoot. I thought this was great.
Hmm.
Yeah, overall weekend update, not too bad. Not too bad. I
Not
dug
too
it
bad. I
overall.
also liked one more shout out to one of Jay's jokes where he was talking about female doctors make 2 million less than men. He goes, "That's not right. Female doctors." Ah, God help me,
Oh,
I laughed.
oh, Che, your misogyny is hilarious, and I
It
did
really
laugh at.
is.
I laughed at the joke too. I can't front,
Yeah,
as the kids say.
exactly. Well, no, it's a nice unexpected turn.
Hmm.
So next we had a sketch called Santa Song. This was written by Anna Driesen, Alex English, Allison Gates, and Kent Sublette.
Ooh, I
So
like it.
this was Billie Eilish, Kate, and Ego. They were just singing a song about how they how Billie Eilish's character met Santa and made it weird.
Yeah, it's just that's basically like sort of the premise where I mean I did have one line that I did like where Billie Eilish sings where because basically it's Kate and Ego as Billie's backup singers and they're kind of doing like a
Hmm.
40s crooning type of thing, and Billie says, "Hey guys, guess what? I met Santa," and then Ego says, "You met the Santa like in the Bible?"
Yeah, that's a
That,
good line.
that's a good line. And yeah,
That's a
so
good line.
basically the whole song is basically about them meeting Santa, and of course Santa being so famous, they just made it weird and say odd things like, "Hey, Mama, nice teeth," and Santa
Hmm.
asking them, "Have you been naughty or nice?" And of course them responding with, "Who's asking, Virgin?"
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the awkwardness of it. Again, I thought it was a little weird that Cecily wasn't in there because we know that Cecily enjoys the singing.
Yeah, like that's two for two. It's a sketch with a dog, no Cecily, and a sketch with
Hmm.
singing, no Cecily. What the
No,
flip?
Cecily, light show for her.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she was in the cold open. She was in a sketch that got cut for time, which we'll bring up.
Right?
And
Was she in the Christmas card sketch? I don't remember her in that.
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So yeah, I mean, it's just weird that somebody who's been around on the show for as long as Cecily still has the occasional light show. But I guess that's what's going to happen when you have more cast members than the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
Yes, it's a small village at this point.
It
Without a
really
doubt,
is. It
it
really
really
is.
is. It's like Cincinnati or something. It's just like a small town.
Yep. All right. I don't have much else to say about that one. So move on to the next.
Yeah, I thought it was the sketch was charming enough. It wasn't
Yeah.
laugh out loud, but I was like, all right,
Yeah, it was
that's
cute, and I mean, and it's nice to see everybody made up. Billie Eilish was had like a blonde wig on and a red sequin dress, so she looked kind of Marilyn Monroe-y,
yes,
and that was kind of cool. Next, we had another thing about social awkwardness. It was a pre-tape called Kyle's Holiday. No
yeah.
writing credits in this one. I'm gonna assume Kyle Mooney contributed to the writing on this.
You don't say.
Just a hunch.
Hey, John, did you realize Kyle is awkward and off-putting?
Apparently so. Yes. Um, I mean, it really sketches like this. They really make me wonder: is does Kyle actually creep out the people at SNL this much, or is this just all in his head?
I don't know. It does seem like a little bit of like real life does bleed into these Kyle sketches a little bit. There's one line
Mhm.
he says where I'm like, oh, that seems like it came from a real place.
Well, I mean, it starts out he's like Punky and 80 are just sitting at a table and they're talking about their holiday plans, and Kyle, who apparently doesn't have any relatives to visit or anybody nearby, he's just kind of like, hey, do you guys want to hang out for the Christmas holiday? And they're like, well, no, we're spending time with our family. And we see him later with Bowen, and Bowen's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go fly visit my family. And Kyle just goes, well, if the plane crashes or anything, you know, look me up.
Yeah, and Bo's like, Jesus Christ, why'd you say that?
And we find out like even the NBC page doesn't want to hang out with him because he has plans with his family.
Yeah,
And Kyle, he says like even the please don't destroy guy said I shouldn't be alive, which
Jesus,
seems harsh.
just a little bit. Uh,
Seems harsh.
Yeah, because like so, I mean the line I was talking about was so like basically like everybody said they can't hang out because they hang out with his family, and then we see Bowen, or not Bowen, Kyle singing "Oh Another Lonely Christmas." So, that made
Mhm.
me think they were going to go into a music bit, but then Billie
Mhm.
Eilish comes out and sings with him a little bit, and then they just stop the song, and then
Yeah.
Billie says, "Hey Kyle, wow, you have a very beautiful voice," and Kyle's like, "Yeah, they don't know how to use me around here."
Yeah. Yeah. That was cute.
I was like, oh, did that come from a real place there, Kyle? That made me chuckle.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
and
and
he details a little more. He's talking with Billy, and he talks about how he doesn't fit in with the gas. He's like, Keenan still calls me Beck Bennett. Heidi and Ego have this fun game where they don't follow me on Instagram, and then he talks about how this weird thing he has going on with Mikey Day, where he ties Mikey Day up with duct tape, or this is what he imagines doing.
yeah, he imagines, like, I think he talks about all the cast members he appreciates and likes, and he talks about
Hmm.
Keenan, Heidi, Ego, Pete, and it's like, yeah, everybody here gives me joy, except for Mikey Day. Like,
Right.
I just feel had this dream where I tie him up, and like I drag him into a closet, but there's a mask over my face, but I let it down a little bit so he knows it's me. Then then I
Hmm.
pour gasoline on him, and then I go and then I go into his office and change all of his names on his scripts to my name, and then I become the breakout star. I'm Don Jr. and
Right.
and then Billy hears all this and she's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and when they run into Mikey in the hall, she's like, "Run, quit the show, go make a new life for yourself for your own safety."
Yeah. Again,
Uh,
more dark stuff in this episode.
More, yeah, they did take a dark turn in the episode, and but I still kind of feel bad for Kyle Mooney, and I've already tweeted about this, but Kyle Mooney, I'll hang out with you for Christmas.
There you go, Kyle Mooney.
Yeah,
Official invitation.
you and me, we can hang out, we can do stuff, we can go be socially awkward together.
Yes, Kyle Mooney. You can
So,
hang out. You can hang out with one of the illustrious SNL nerds this Christmas
hmm.
vacation. That's right. All you have to do
And
is reach out.
I mean, it's not going to be awkward because we met before
Ooh,
outside of the New York Comic Con a couple years ago. So,
you have a
I mean,
history.
we'll have so much to talk about. We'll have so much to catch up on,
I know.
and
My God.
and I can make a case of why you should play the Muppet New Zealand on the show. Hashtag Cal for New Zealand.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
give me a call.
yeah. I mean, Kyle Mooney. If you're listening, and I know you are, this seems like a too
Yeah,
good an opportunity to pass up, my friend.
yeah. I mean, offers open. You have my info. You have my social media. So at Trumbull Comic on Twitter.
All right, John, and now we wait.
And now we wait.
Um, But yeah, as far as this sketch goes, I liked it. Like, I know sometimes I can be kind of touch and go with Kyle Mooney sketches just because his
Hmm.
brand of humor is a little. It's a little.
It can be hit and miss,
It
yeah. But
can be
I,
hit
I
and
like
miss.
this one. I thought this was one of the stronger Kyle Mooney joints.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I guess if I was to compare his type of humor to any other SNL cast member, I was thinking about it over the weekend. I was thinking it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe like Chris Elliott, if I could think. Like Chris Elliott has a
Yeah.
very particular type of humor that a lot of people don't really get into that much, but the people that do get into it really like it. It's a little
Hmm.
oddball, it's a little off kilter, but the people that love it. And I think Kyle
Yeah.
Mooney is
Yeah.
kind of in that vein where
I
it's
mean, he's very offbeat, but I feel like he really knows his lane and he's carved out his own uh, niche of the show.
yeah,
So,
I would say so. But yeah, as far as Kyle Mooney sketches go, I dug this one. I thought this was a hoot.
hmm. And lastly, oh wow, holy cow, we're like at the end of the show already. Look at that.
Whoa, time
Uh,
flies.
Lastly, we have Hotel Ad, which is just Kate McKinnon and Billie Eilish. Man, Kate McKinnon was like all over this show, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
they brought her. She came back with a vengeance. She came in.
Yeah,
She came
I
in like a
mean, it
wrecking
was.
ball.
I mean, I love me some Kate McKinnon, but I feel like we were just on the verge of like too much Kate McKinnon. I mean, she was great in everything that she had to do, but I was like, ooh, let's space it out a little because I feel like some other people were kind of underserved.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I like Kate McKinnon, but we have a huge cast of all these other people. Let them do a little bit
Hmm.
more. Let them a little bit more. Let Heidi shine a little bit more. Let's pull Kate back a little bit. Like, we don't want to. I mean, I know people love Kate and they want to see more and more of her, but at the same time, you can't.
Hmm.
You don't want to.
Yeah,
You
and
don't.
we have missed her for the last 7 episodes, but
Yeah,
whew, yeah, let's balance it out a little. But I guess you can't give everybody an equal amount of airtime every week. This, by the way, Hotel Ad was written by Billie Domino, Anna Dreesen, and Vanessa Jackson.
Hmm.
And I apologize to anyone who's not Vanessa Jackson because I probably mispronounced your name.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yes. So I enjoyed this. This was just Kate and Billy as like two hotel employees who were just listing all the amenities of this hotel chain.
Yeah.
Like, there's a hot tub that's always occupied by an 8-year-old in goggles who stares at your breasts.
Yeah, this is so the hospital, the hotel chain. This is for the Business Garden Inn and Suites and Hotel Room Inn.
Yes.
And we've kind of seen these type of sketches before. It's like a lot of word salad. It's mostly done by Kate and 80, where it's like the two of them
Yeah.
describing, it's a commercial for whatever place they work at. This kind of reminded me a lot of the apple picking sketch that Kate and 80 did during the Woody Harrelson episode, where it's
Uh
just
huh.
them kind of listing things that you would see while you're apple picking. This is them listing things you'd see at a hotel chain, like Band-Aid colored blankets and a chair for your suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
Black and white picture of a Ferris wheel in your hotel room. You go down to the breakfast bar, you see wet eggs and cereal in gumball machines. It's just like a lot of just them kind of rattling off all the things you'd see in a hotel.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like very stream of consciousness for me, and you could tell they were having fun with it. Billie Eilish was cracking a bit; she's breaking. Uh, so
Yeah,
it was fun, and just a fun, weird, oddish sketch to end out the night with. So I
yeah,
thought they were ending kind of strong.
yeah. They did have a couple lines that I liked where Billie Eilish said, "Yes, this hotel, we put the hospital in hospitality," or,
Hmm.
we've been.
I liked how they talked about the in the breakfast area, like the yogurt is locked up at like 8:59 a.m. It's like, you want yogurt? Wake up at 4, bitch.
Which I think the few times I have stayed in hotels, I have noticed like they do keep the yogurt under lock and key for some odd
Hmm.
reason. And we also got an appearance from Phineas as the bellhop, who will
Trevor, yes.
yes, he will drop your bags. He will listen to Joe Rogan on his phone without headphones, and he will offer to get you cocaine and totally flake.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
So,
Yeah, so
um,
for the most part, this is all right. It's like you said, there was a lot of chuckling. Billy was breaking quite a bit. She kind of broke a little bit in a lot of these sketches. I've noticed she a lot of chuckling on her end, and
yeah,
she
yeah.
she
I didn't think she did it enough that it was like majorly disruptive. And
right.
she's not a trained actor, so
That's true.
I'm definitely going to cut her some slack on that. So
Right, it wasn't like a Jimmy Fallon amount.
no, it didn't get to the obnoxiousness of a Jimmy Fallon, where
Right,
it's like, okay, come on,
like
dude,
you're a paid performer. Let's come
exactly,
knock it off.
exactly. So,
Uh,
um, yeah, I
yeah,
mean, overall, I thought it was a pretty good show outside of that weird, horrible nativity sketch.
yeah. I think the first half was a little weak, but it definitely got
Hmm.
better and stronger as it went on. Like I think around the pre-tape, the Lonely Christmas pre-tape, that's when it started to kick into gear for me.
Yeah, Lonely Christmas, definitely the highlight of the show for me.
Absolutely, it was a
So
banger, as the kids say.
it was chef's kiss.
Mhm.
There were a couple cut for time sketches that SNL has posted up on their YouTube page. Should you want to go over those?
Yeah, sure, we can go over those real quick.
All right. Well, first we had a "Please Don't Destroy" sketch that's called "Future Selves." That, of course, is written by the "Please Don't Destroy" guys of Martin Harrelly, John Higgins, and Ben Marshall.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely. So it's Please Don't Destroy Boys hanging out in their offices as they do, and then they get visited by their future selves through a bit of a time loop, and we see the future Martin, we see the future John and the future Ben, and like it's them trying to warn them about basically the oncoming apocalypse and how they they came back to try to stop the all of it and trying to save mankind. But of course, the Please Don't
Hmm.
Destroy boys are just obsessed with like the way their older selves look, and why is he?
Yeah.
I think Martin is dressed, kind of like Johnny Depp is now with like all tons of beads and scarves. He's like, "Why are you dressed like that?" And he was like, "Yeah, we went through a pretty rough divorce." Uh,
Yeah.
so it's
He
a
was
lot.
divorced so hard, you guys.
Oof, oofa.
This was okay. I didn't feel like it was quite up to their usual standards. I watched this and I was kind of like, okay, I kind of see why this was cut.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. Um, Yeah, not super strong like their other stuff, but yeah, I'm fine with
Yeah,
this getting cut.
it was fine. Didn't blow me away.
Yeah.
Next, we had Angelo Christmas,
Ah.
which on the season 47 Reddit thread they listed as recurring. Can we really say it's recurring when the second time they do it is cut from the show? I
Yeah,
don't think that quite qualifies.
I think they're trying to make it recurring, but it's not
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
quite there yet.
I feel like they're going to try again.
Yeah.
This was written by Aristotle Atari, of course, Martin Harley, John Higgins, Ben Marshall, so the Please Don't Destroy guys, and Brian Tucker. And this is Mikey and Cecily witnessing another performance by Angelo, who's like the international sensation. And he gets a word and makes a song about it, and he always
Mhm.
asks you to repeat the word.
Yes. Say it for me.
Say for me.
He
Say
already
for
had the
me.
catchphrase.
Say for me, say
That's
for
it.
me, say for me, and you will hear it several times over the
Yes.
course of the sketch. And then
Tonight.
Billie Eilish comes in again as like his partner. Didn't write down her character name,
Deb
but
from Rake from Iceland, I believe.
well, there you go. Um, yeah, I think I agree with the choice to cut this, even though Aristotle didn't have much else in the show. I just felt like it was a little too soon to bring this character back.
I see what you're saying, but I think I still would have left this in, especially over the nativity sketch. Like if you
Hmm.
take that out and put this in, I think you would have had a stronger overall episode.
Yeah, I would take this over the nativity sketch because I felt the nativity sketch was so weak. Um, I felt like this one was basically elevated by the performances. I felt the performances were good, but I think the main reason to keep this in would have been so that you have more of Mikey, Cecily, and Aristotle in the show.
I'll agree with that. Like the banter and the back and forth that Cecily and Mikey had was really good.
Hmm.
I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
fantastic. I would
yeah.
like to see that in the show.
Yeah, I felt like the performance is elevated on this. I didn't think the writing was real strong. I feel like it's just a really repetitive character, and so
It
I'm
is.
gonna get sick of this character very quickly.
I mean, but isn't that most like a recurring character that just kind of that's like Chad's okay and whatnot?
It's very many of the recurring characters. Yes,
Okay. Uh,
yes.
okay. All right.
Familiarity breeds contempt,
Mm.
and
I've heard that. I've heard that.
yeah,
All right. Yeah, and that's the episode, guys. Overall, not too bad. Weak beginning, strong finish. Um, I thought it was okay overall. And for me, the Lonely Christmas sketch was sketch of the night.
100%, 100%. Okay, so we asked our Twitter followers, what'd you think? And we got some comments.
What?
Uh, yeah, so it's Boardman gets paid. He's at Lee Leho the Lion.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's his handle. He says, "Glad the show is back and you guys reviewing it." So Versus has been pitting best of music together. Who would be your ideal sketch for sketch versus? Mine would be Christopher Walken versus Eddie Murphy. Rules are any host or cast member with at least 10 sketches.
Mm.
God, that's a huge question.
Yeah, I'd have to sit down with like a pen and paper with this one. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, off the top of my head, I mean, you'd have to put Tom Hanks in there. somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know if I'd pit hosts against cast members personally, but
yeah, that's true. Um,
I'd probably have host against host and cast member against cast member. That seems more fair to me.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, cast member against cast member. I don't know. Maybe like Will Ferrell versus Sandler. Is that fair? Or maybe I don't know. This is
sure. I mean, they both had similar huge impacts on the show. I don't. Yeah, I mean, there's so many potential comparisons you can get. I mean, that's just this question could be a whole show in
it.
itself.
Really could.
Honestly,
I think we have some.
I mean,
I think we found our first topic for the break.
maybe yeah. If we want to do a topic show, this could be a good topic. Let's see. We got John Nanius. He's at Burton esque 92. So I'm assuming you're like a Tim Burton Batman Returns fan.
Mhm.
Says we've had one update piece from Punky as a character and one with her being herself. Would you rather see her bring more characters into that venue or do more stand up material? I know I'd say the latter. I really liked the vibe of this spot.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree. I think like I said, like much like Pete Davidson, they're stand-up comedians and they're always best when they're just being themselves, talking about their lives and who they are and where they come from. And like that's a good way to get to know the person and endear them to you. Not endure. It's a good way to endear them. It's a good way to endear them to you and get to know
Sure.
them. So I think it's like I said earlier, like if Punky does more stuff like this, I think she'll be able to sort of
Yeah.
find her place in the cast.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I feel like she needs to do both.
Mm,
Because she's just gotta, yeah, she's just got to do more on the show if she's gonna last, or
yeah,
they need to write more for her for the show. I mean, I shouldn't put it all on Punky's shoulders.
yeah. Well, fair enough, fair enough.
So,
So our good friend Mikey with two E's
mhm.
says, seemed to start slow but got better towards the end, though Billy did a good job overall. Enjoyed Lonely Christmas and thought Update was decent. Hotel Ad was okay. Felt like a sketch from season 37, 38. Just watched the PDD sketch. Why didn't Higgins play older Higgins? And that is a good
Steve
question.
Higgins.
Yeah, Steve Higgins play older Higgins. And that is a good
Yeah,
question. Why didn't Steve Higgins play older Higgins or younger Higgins?
yeah. Steve Higgins, if you don't know, he's also a longtime writer for SNL, and Ben Higgins and Please Don't Destroy is his son, and Steve Higgins is also Jimmy Fallon's sidekick on or announcer on the Tonight Show right now. He's not really a sidekick, I guess.
Right, and they could have gotten Martin Hurley or Martin Hurley's dad, Tim Hurley, to play Martin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Missed opportunity, guys.
That would have been fun.
Absolutely.
So,
And then we got a email or text rather from a tweet, not text, Jesus, from a daily comedy news podcast at
hmm
DCN Podcast saying end was better than end was better than the start. The show had a major obvious weak link, and that was the host. Flat monologue, bad promoter reading, or bad prompter
I
promoter.
think they made prompter reading.
Prompter, right. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Bad they read the promoter really badly. Uh lost it lost it a few times, not sharp in sketches. I know she's a young performer, but if Variety is going to put out an article suggesting she nailed it, I guess I can name names. So, yeah.
okay. I will just point out you did not actually name names. You just said the host.
Yeah.
You did not refer to the host by name. I mean, the host, that does narrow it down quite a bit, but
Yeah, that's very true.
um, yeah, I thought she did a better job than you did, obviously, daily comedy news podcast. But okay, I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess you don't want to see her back. I wouldn't mind. She's not someone I'm clamoring to see back, but
I
I thought she did fine,
yeah, that's
especially for a non actor.
yeah. I'll agree with Daily Comedy News saying she didn't nail it, but I think she did okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like you said, she's 19. She hasn't acted too much, let alone acting in a live sketch comedy.
yeah.
So, I mean, if you take all that into consideration, you got to grade her in a little bit of of a curve. But yeah,
Yeah,
I do agree with daily comedy when like some media outlets like Variety or say like she crushed it, she totally nailed it. Oh, like they like kind of hype her up more than it actually was, and
yeah,
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't say she crushed it or she nailed it or she Yas queen. She did that shit. I thought she did good. She did fine.
yes.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, so that's the episode, guys. Thanks again for listening as
Hmm.
always. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at SNL Nerd Show.
Hmm.
We actually just put out our bonus episode just moments ago.
Yes.
So give that a
Yes,
listen.
as you're hearing this, this dropped on Sunday. We did a bonus episode this week with John Ostrander and Bob Greenberger, and that's talking a little about tying in with our last episode on For Mad Men Only. John Ostrander, of course, wrote the comic Wasteland with the late great Del Close, and he also co-created or created the revival of the Suicide Squad that basically came to theaters in the Suicide Squad movie that Pete Davidson did earlier this year, and Bob Greenberger was his editor on that. So they told us all the cool behind the scenes information on that stuff, and it's a really cool conversation. So check that out.
Yeah, no, it's a good one, guys. Listen to it. It
Mhm.
is a banger, as the kids say.
It is. It is. It was really fun to talk to both of them, and I was really glad we were able to pull that off. I should also mention I'm on another podcast. This dropped like a couple weeks ago on December 2nd, I think. I was on another episode of Cheers Cast, talking with my friend Ryan Daly about the fourth season Cheers episode, Diane Chambers Day, where they all go to the opera. And that
Mm,
was a lot of fun.
nice, nice, very
So
nice.
check that out. That's Cheers Cast on the Fire and Water Podcast Network.
Okay, and yeah, and oh, actually, all right. Well, here's something I'll bring up because I'm just looking at this right now.
Okay.
I'm looking through Instagram right now, and so I'm looking at Chloe Feynman's Instagram account, and she put up a
Cyber stalking. Got it.
yeah,
Yes.
as you do, it's the holidays,
Yeah.
and she actually she re-put out a tweet that Lauren Boebert, put out about her performance on SNL last night
Uh
in
huh.
the cold open. Lauren Boebert says, just saw the poorly acted SNL skit from last night. Seeing the poor trigger discipline from the no name actress who played me makes me think Alec Baldwin did the gun safety training over there. Oh, Jesus. By the way, when are they moving SNL over to CNN to die out of irrelevance? So that's fun. Jesus.
Oh, okay.
she's a she's a congresswoman. She's a politician. That's oh the real life is weird.
The poor trigger discipline. Oh, yeah. Okay, so she's not talking about like, oh, she was triggered. She's criticizing. Yeah, because she had her finger on the trigger
I
of
get
the prop gun.
I guess I don't know. This was all word salad to me. It read as
Well, yeah, like most. No, no, yeah, I'm seeing it now.
it read as wacky babble.
Yeah,
Uh, life's
poor trigger discipline. You're putting guns in the hands of your fucking. Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah, all right.
Life's weird.
I'm sure the finger on the trigger was that was another part of the parody, lady.
Yeah,
That's not her doing something out of ignorance. That's her doing it because you are insane.
exactly. Here, here. And where can the people follow you, John?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Trumbull Comic. That's TRUMBULL and the word comic. And did you give your handles? I
Uh,
can't remember.
no, but I'll do it again. Did I? I probably did. I'll
Okay,
do it again. Twitter, Instagram
do
at
it again.
Darren Credible, Darin Credible. Follow, do it, bam.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And next week we're gonna be back. because SNL is back with another new episode. So we thought it'd be good if we covered that. And they're bringing back Paul Rudd to host. I believe it's going to be his 5th time.
Yes, 5-timers. Hey-oh.
And another returning musical guest, Charlie XEX.
Right, final episode of 2021, people. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
hoot, I feel.
Did I say XEX or XCX? Because she's XCX.
XCX. I think it said XCX or CX.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, something
That's
like that.
good. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I remember enjoying her the last time she was on the show, and Paul Rudd. Always love me some Paul Rudd.
Always love the Rudd.
I always love me some Paul Rudd, and we're gonna get a little late to Ghostbusters Afterlife plug-in. Will we see a Ghostbusters parody? Will we see some cameos from some Ghostbusters? Who knows?
I don't know. I do think since this is his 5th time, we're gonna see some 5-timers club appearances. I mean, I think that's a given.
Maybe they haven't done a five timers thing in a while. I think the last time they did that was when they had Justin Timberlake join. Am I right on that?
Maybe.
I'd have to Google that.
Yeah, but I can almost guarantee. I mean, it's going to be the last episode of the season. It's going to be the Christmas episode. He's joining the 5-timers. I can guarantee you, we're going to see some celeb cameos.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put money on it.
Yeah. Okay. I cannot find a nice list of all the. I'm finding lists of all the people who are in the 5-timers club, which is great, but I'm not seeing a thing of all the 5-timers club sketches in chronological order. So
that's a bummer.
Jonah Hill's in it. I'd forgotten that.
Oh yeah, that's
maybe
right.
Jonah Hill was the last time they did that. Yeah. Oh no, wait. Okay, it says here on the SNL wiki, the most recent time the 5-timers club is seen is when Justin Timberlake reached the spot. Paul Simon, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Alec Baldwin, Tom Hanks, and Candice Bergen were seen in this appearance. Dan Aykroyd made a cameo as a bartender. Martin Short appeared as a waiter. Michael Bryan, who had made an appearance as a doorman. Okay, yeah, so that's nice. Yeah, probably not going to see Alec Baldwin.
Aww.
I think that's a safe bet.
Boo.
Well, I get it. I understand why. He's got his own stuff going on right now.
He's doing things. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
So fair enough. Okay, so we'll be back next week with Paul Rudd and Charlie XEX.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's our episode, guys. Thanks again for listening. As always, please spread the word, rate, review, subscribe, the whole Megillah.
Yep.
And yeah, that's all we got.
That's all we got. So we'll see you next week. And until then, nerds out!
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.